This is the second part of my building mobile storage workbenches. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, I built a prototype and I didn't like it. So I took that apart again and made 3 new frames. So in order to add the storage part to the mobile workbench, some more work and plywood will be needed. And I'll need to rewind the clock a bit. Started organizing small parts into these storage bins, and the idea was to make this mobile workbench cart into a house for all of the storage bins, or for most of them anyway. So here's where I am in my planning process. They're going to sit side by side. I'm going to be able to store, I think, 2 of the deep bins, the tall bins, and then I think 12 of the smaller ones. So because the depth of these storage bins doesn't require the full depth of this cart, I'm going to have to come up with something where I can have shelves to fit the storage bins into, presumably closing off the sides and then also closing off the back of whatever compartment I come up with, so that I also have the back there to store, I don't know, smaller cans of paint or something like that. So yeah, that's something I have to think about, how I want to do that. Now I know that this bit here is 51.5 centimeters wide and 71.5 centimeters high. So I'm gonna make 2 cutouts out of this leftover plywood sheet to fit those sides. Here I have the sides, the part that goes over the top, and this is the middle piece. If this sits in the middle of the cart, there's going to be bins here and bins there. What I need next is the little shelves that my bins are going to sit on. So these here are 2.5 centimeters wide, 34 centimeters long, and these gaps here, this is the big bin plus I think 3 millimeters, and there's the small bin plus 3 millimeters. I made myself these little spaces here, basically fit in between. So this way for the big bins, and then this way for the smaller bins. I'm just going to continue where I left off last night. I just put in 1 bead of wood glue. Press it on there, and just so that the glue can harden with enough pressure on it. I'll just nail this in place with 40 millimeter. I think these are 18 gauge nails. And now, because this is the middle piece, it needs these kind of runners on both sides. So I'm just going to flip this over, even though the glue is still fresh. I'm going to start the same process on the other side. Starting once again with the bottom, and just to make sure that these can't go anywhere, I'm just quick clamping them in place. It's 11:15. I suppose it's not too late yet, so I might continue on a bit more. There's quite a difference in plywood here. One seems to be about, I don't know, almost a millimetre thicker than the other. That's not ideal. Well. You can't win every day, can you? So this is the top piece. This is 34 centimeters. I marked out the center line here. So I've marked the same center line on each side. So once I have this in place here, I know where my 18 gauge nails are going to go. I don't want to be firing them out around the sides. There's my center piece, goes in there. Now let's check if this fits. It does. How beautiful. So, out comes the wood glue. And at this stage, either the camera storage was full or the battery died. But this is all the footage I have of the original assembly. The next shot is of me measuring distances, and then we're back in the present. I partially disassembled this bench here and loosened my small part storage inset. Now, of course, these legs here, they're moved in by about 5 centimeters, so 10 centimeters in total, which means that this thing here is narrower than my opening over here and the distance between it. So this is 90 centimeters wide, and here I have 100.5 centimeters, so just a bit over a meter. And that means I'll need to build this out a little bit more. So I quickly cut the same width timber into 9mm thin boards. These I'm now going to attach to these kind of like thickeners, if that's a word. Just going to glue them on. That should be enough. I'll just glue them, then I can screw them in place, and then my insert can be screwed into this. We'll see how that goes. Now I've just lowered this in from the top. It's the only way that works, because the height of my insert, it's greater than the height from the bottom shelf to this bit of timber here. So lowering it in, it's an easy way to do it. It's time to flip this one upright and put the actual white top back on. And of course, because of all the timber that I put into this one, it is much heavier than the prototype, and I'm fine with that. Now up you come. I can't say enough, but I really, really like the height of these things. It's perfect for me. Not for smaller people, but perfect for me. been too lazy to do anything for the past, I don't know, a week or so, and now I don't know where I left off. But I think this is what I want to get done. So I need to flip this over and get my hastily assembled frame, something like that. And now, of course, I have to flip that round to be able to bang in those screws. Works well enough. The only thing I need, of course, is the supports screwed in at the bottom for this to sit on. Other than that, I think I'm onto something here. Something like that. Yes. Okay. Ah. Just the friction of the wood alone is holding this in place now. Well, if I can sand this with like really coarse sandpaper, and maybe I can free up like 1/2 mil or so, the 1/2 mil that it needs to sit in there a little bit better. And then for supports, I'm going to use these mending plates or whatever they are here. I do not recall what device or thing they originally belonged to. I do not remember for the life of me. But they will serve just fine. Sitting under the bottom here and holding that work frame, holding this worktop in place. Well, it won't win any design prize, but it does the job, doesn't it? Workspace. Another upgrade that I've added to my mobile storage workbenches were these two boxes that I've just made out of some leftover, or rather off-cut 80mm ply, and they contain all these little containers here that go into the storage bins. There's all the ones that I didn't have a use for, that were just lying around taking space. I made these containers for these boxes, and they go here, just down the side. Just down the side of the workbench. That also houses all the storage bins. They can sit just there, nice and out of the way. And that also makes good use of that somewhat awkward, shallow space here. Another upgrade that I have in mind is to put holes through these 4x2s here, 15 centimeters from the corners, and then 30 centimeters between holes. The same on the short sides. That should give me two holes that are 30 centimeters apart from one another. And what that would enable me to do is to use nuts and bolts and washers and just put these together in a semi-permanent fashion. So theoretically, once I have them combined into whatever shape, a U shape or H, I could move them as one, right? And it would just be give me a more stable bench formation overall. So that's something I want to do. Not right now. The garage is enough of a mess as it is, and that's something that I want to, or have to rather, work on first. But this has certainly not been the end of upgrading these mobile storage benches.